SB 35 will create better accountability to ensure that all communities are contributing the housing that our state so desperately needs. It does so for the first time by creating actual incentives for local communities to meet their housing goals under RHNA, the Regional Housing Needs Assessment, for all income levels. All communities must participate in creating the housing that we need. Local communities do not exist in a vacuum. We are all in this together. SB 35 will create much better incentives to create housing for everyone, including for our lowest income neighbors. We are in a terrible housing crisis in California. We need to produce about 180,000 units of housing per year, according to the legislative analyst. We are producing about half of that. This is no longer just a San Francisco, Santa Monica, Berkeley, West LA problem. In more and more parts of this state, people are struggling with the cost of housing. This particularly harms our middle class and our low-income residents who are getting pushed out, at times pushed out of the state. It harms families who do not have adequate housing. It harms young people and threatens to strangle the future for people who are just trying to make lives for themselves in California. It increases evictions and displacement. The lack of housing in urbanized areas leads to sprawl, harming the environment, increasing greenhouse gas emissions, and pushing people into longer and longer crushing commutes. People do not have confidence that their kids are going to be able to actually live in the communities in which they grew up. SB 35 puts us on a long overdue path toward reform. It does so by creating a streamlined approval path for housing in communities that are not meeting their housing goals. We have put significant protections in this bill to prevent demolition of rent-controlled housing. It does not impact local zoning. It does not impact local inclusionary levels. This bill still retains significant local control. But what the bill does do is create actual accountability, because local control is about how you meet your housing goals, not whether you meet your housing goals. I want to thank the broad coalition that has worked with us on this bill. We have done enormous outreach, and this bill has gone through an evolution as we have built support. We now have a broad coalition of housing advocates, affordable housing organizations, environmental organizations, the business community, and I want to thank our friends in labor for working with us on this bill and for continuing to work with us on the bill. Colleagues, this is a good bill. It will help in terms of making housing more affordable and addressing our housing shortage, and I ask for your aye vote.